WMSC
Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022, and we have a very exciting show for you today. But most importantly, I would like to issue an apology. I'm incredibly sorry for the disgusting music that I played last week. It was not me. I promised you good music here, but technology hates me. So I don't know if I could deliver that today either, and it's not okay. But anyways, it's Isaiah joined by, as normal, Mina, Anthony, Lana, and in the Shadow Realm for the first time in this semester, I believe, who does not have his camera on. I don't know if he can even hear the audio, but Aidan is somewhere. But yeah.
Help.
Anyways, guys, Aidan, are you there? Aidan?
Help.
I was gonna say it sounded like he was
All
calling.
right. It's nice to hear that Aidan is alive in the Shadow Realm. I don't know how to transition from that noise. Amina, we have news.
Yes. So in national news, former President Barack Obama returned to the White House yesterday after a 5-year absence. He was celebrating one of his signature achievements, the Affordable Care Act, alongside the man who served with him in the building for 8 years, our current president, Joe Biden. The healthcare law remains one of the lasting legacies of the Obama administration. In state news, Matthew Donovan of Blairstown says that a bear is responsible for killing a dozen of his chickens. He says that he is concerned that this could be an ongoing thing now that Governor Phil Murphy has canceled the New Jersey black bear hunt. Donovan says that he doesn't necessarily want to see bears killed, but he says that he is concerned about what an increased bear population can do. In local news, a pancake fun relay race on Bloomfield Avenue raised nearly $2,000 for Ukrainian relief organizations. The event was organized by St. James Episcopal Church and the Upper Montclair Business Association. Close to 100 people were in attendance, and community members lined the route to show their support. The church has committed another $1,000, bringing the amount to be donated to about $3,000. All of the money raised will be sent to the Episcopal Ukrainian Relief Fund. The weather today, it is raining with a high of 55 and a low of 44, with the humidity level of 89% and good air quality at 43.
Well, could you tell the earth to stop raining today because it is not ideal for anyone right now. But thank you as always, Amina. It was great. But now we have to go to the land of sports. Can we talk about the Lakers being an absolute dumpster fire or what today? Anthony.
I'm so happy. But Major League Baseball announced yesterday that it would start allowing pitchers and catchers to use anti-sign stealing technology to avoid opposing teams from sign stealing, the league announced Tuesday. This comes after a multitude of scandals coming out of the MLB regarding sign stealing over the last few years through outside technology, most notably the 2017 Houston Asterix and 2018 Boston Red Sox. The device is a set of buttons that, when pressed, give the pitch and positioning to the pitcher and fielders so that there's no way that the other team can see. This change is to be put into effect this upcoming season. Tiger Woods announced yesterday that as of right now, he plans on playing in this year's Masters tournament. Woods, who was recently involved in a car crash last year, injured his leg and was thought to not be playing again until 2023. The 5-time Masters champion is only one green jacket shy of tying the all-time mark set by Jack Nicklaus, but it won't come easy. Woods still says he feels pain in his leg and that the walk between shots could hamper his game. But fortunately for golf fans, we will see him in Augusta this year. Los Angeles Lakers were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs last night in a 121-110 loss to the Suns. LeBron James elected to sit out the contest with an ankle soreness despite the team facing elimination. Head coach Frank Vogel said after the loss, quote, "Disappointed for our fan base, disappointed for the Bucks family who gave us all this opportunity, and we wanted to play our part in bringing success to Laker basketball, but we fell short." The Lakers were looked at to be title contenders this year, but with injuries to key stars like Anthony Davis and some massive underperformers like Russell Westbrook, the Lakers will be watching the playoffs from the couch. The Rangers took the final showdown of the Hudson River rivalry last night, beating the Devils 3-1. Alexander Georgiev finished with 20 saves. This propels the Rangers to 96 points, which is second in the Metropolitan Division. And the Islanders fell to the Stars last night 3-2. Defenseman Noah Dobson added 2 assists in the loss.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony. That was great. But very quickly, I'd like to talk about this one story in LA very quickly. So Russell Westbrook has been the scapegoat for this team pretty much the entire year. And My problem with that is that it's not entirely his fault. Has he played bad? Absolutely. Is he the reason that they're playing awful as a team? No. I will say they did a terrible job building that team as they got rid of all their 3-and-D guys and then brought in Westbrook. And then for those who watch basketball, Westbrook is pretty much LeBron James, but in a much more condensed body. So both of them need shooters around them. And you know what they did? They didn't get any shooters around them. So this is I don't I think Russ should probably stay on the Lakers. I don't know if he I don't think they can get rid of him.
He's gone.
I don't know if
I
they
think
can get
he
rid of
could
him.
demand a trade if he really wants to.
He could, but who's going to pick up that contract now, especially the way it
Exactly.
looks
It's
like
tough.
how he played. But very interesting time to be a Lakers fan. I'm
Lakers'
glad
future's
I'm not.
destroyed. Their future's gone.
You know who's not gone though? The Raptors, and we'll leave it at that. They're gonna win the NBA Finals. Probably not, but wishful thinking. Anyways, guys, we have some bigger fish to fry. Not literally, but we have bigger topics to talk about, especially in our very own country, as Oklahoma has passed a near total ban on abortions. Yesterday, the Oklahoma legislature approved a bill that would make performing an abortion illegal in the state. There are exceptions, but only in the case of medical emergencies. Senate Bill 612 would make performing an abortion or attempting to perform the procedure a felony punishable by a maximum fine of $100,000 or a maximum 10 years in state prison or both. The bill first passed the state Senate last year and passed the state Republican-led House on Tuesday by a vote of 70-14 without debate or question on the floor. The legislation now heads to Governor Kevin Stitt, who has promised to sign every bill limiting abortion that comes across his desk. State Senator Nathan Dahm said that he and Governor Kevin Stitt had previously spoken about the legislation, and he said he would sign it. Legislators had worked closely on the bill with the national anti-abortion group Students for Life, which celebrated the bill's final passage yesterday. Republican State Representative Jim Olson, the bill's principal House author, told CNN that he believes rape and incest is a horrible crime, and though the baby is conceived in a horrible situation, that it still has the right to life. The baby should not be liable for the sins of the father, he said. It is still a life. The bill's passage coincided with abortion rights advocates' protests on Tuesday as the Oklahoma State Capitol against restrictive abortion bills being considered this legislative session. Wow, really feels like we're going backwards these past few weeks here in the good old United States. This, once again, I'm not too familiar with Oklahoma politics or anything, but this was surprising to me to even hear that this was happening and well over a year of happening. This is awful, guys. What do you guys think?
I mean, it sounds about par for the course for Oklahoma. It seems just like the epitome of politics being the absolute worst. But I still can't imagine that they're keeping a guy in power who says, what was it? He'll sign every bill that passes by his desk.
Yep. That is disgusting.
That's absolutely insane. And he's just going to be sitting there and he's probably going to get reelected because it's Oklahoma.
You know, Aidan, you are not lying at all. I 100% agree with you. It's this. I feel like this is only going to set the narrative for other states that have similar ideals as an Oklahoma, where this is just going to kind of spread in that area, and everyone, you know, for the most part, has similar views down there. They all vote the same, and the people that are making these bills and all these laws are the ones being voted into office, and this is just troubling. It's disturbing, and it's disgusting. Anthony, what do you think on this situation?
Here are my thoughts on like the abortion debate. All these people who are so gung-ho about fighting abortion and are, oh, this child has a right to life, this child has a right to life, they're always preaching this, but these people are always the first people that are willing to do stem cell like treatments and medications, and they're always the first ones that are for like that sort of medication, and it just seems like they're always turning back on what they believe in. If you have a stance on something like that, you have to sort of back it up. You can't be going back on stuff like that. Just the hypocrisy that I see from the right when it comes to issues like abortion, it needs to stop, because you just sound stupid when you go back on claims like that. And now we're just seeing that people don't have the right to choose what happens to their body, and it's really is sickening, Isaiah. And I think that in order to move forward, we need to start reworking how we sort of break down laws like this.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to also get the perspective from the two women inside the studio here today. Amina, Lana, would both of you guys like to share some of your thoughts on this?
Do you want to go first? Okay, I'll go first. So I think this is absolutely disgusting. One, I feel like if when it comes to being a woman, I feel like that's her right. I don't think there should be a law saying like you can't do this and you can't do that. And I think this is even worse just because I feel like for me, this is the first time I've seen like it being said that even if they were like the situation came from rape or incest, like it's still illegal. And I think that just makes it even worse for women because now it's like you have to carry around this burden. And it's also like, who I get what you're saying about like it's still a life and like the baby shouldn't be liable for the sins of the father, not even that, but it's also like, okay, what about the mother? Because I feel like it's one thing to bring a child into the world when you didn't want it, but also to bring a child into the world when it's like one came from a horrible situation. Like, can you imagine telling a child, like, oh, I was raped. That's how you were born.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely disgusting. And I would feel bad for the mother and the child. And I feel like this is just going to make, if I feel like now if women aren't able to get abortions, if they choose to, I feel like the child most likely is going to end up in like a foster care system or like being adopted. And I feel like their situation could be much more worse.
Absolutely. Lastly, Lana.
Yeah, when I first saw that this story was something we were going to talk about, I was pretty upset to hear it. Because what I don't understand is why all these decisions that are being made, they're being made by men.
Exactly.
How are they supposed to know what is going on within a woman's body? These events are traumatic for many women to go through this. And they're reasoning that, oh, it's a life, the kid still deserves to live. That kid is most likely going to grow up in a very horrible situation because if they get kept, the mother is probably never going to really feel like they can completely love them because she'll be scarred by the situation that happened to conceive said child. So the child's always going to think that they did something wrong. And if they're put into like the foster care system, well, that's a whole other can of worms that never seems to work out very well in this country. So
Never does. And I'm glad everyone got to say their piece on this situation. I think we're all on the same page. Oklahoma, you need to be better. The rest of the United States, I hope that you don't follow what Oklahoma does. And, it's just, again, it's an attack on human rights, I think, again, at this point in this country. But we are going to take a quick break. And then we're going to talk about even more disturbing news from around the same area of Oklahoma, guys. So stay tuned.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ed Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey there, Montclair students. WMSC welcomes you to join the station's community and the college radio world. WMSC is a non-commercial alternative rock and talk radio station run by students like you. This year, WMSC was named the best college station in the nation and received the third Marconi nomination for College Station of the Year. Become a board-trained DJ, host your own show, join any of the 9 teams ranging from music, sports, news, and more. To find out how you can get involved, please add us on Engage and attend our general meetings Wednesday afternoons in SCM 1020. For the latest on WMSC, follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at WMSC Radio and on Twitter at WMSC. Hear you soon on WMSC 90.3 FM.
It's very easy to watch it because it's not like a super heavy topic or anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I didn't mind.
Hey
that.
there,
I didn't-
Montclair students. WMSC welcomes you to join the station's community and the college radio world.
Yeah.
WMSC is a non-commercial alternative rock and talk radio station run by
Oh, yeah, for
students
real.
like
Like,
you.
literally. I was
But
like,
committed
that's
This
so
year,
cool.
WMSC was named the best college station in the nation and received a third Marconi nomination for College Station of the Year. Become a board-trained DJ, host your own show, join any of the 9 teams ranging from music, sports, news, and more. To find out how you can get involved, please add us on Engage and attend our general meetings Wednesday afternoons in SEM 1020. For the latest on WMSC, follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at WMSC Radio and on Twitter at WMSC. Hear you soon.
And welcome back to the Morning Buzz here on Wednesday. It is April 6th, 2022. And we have a few more heavy topics to talk about in this first hour. Aidan, would you like to start us off?
I would love to. And starting with another obscure state, a troubling Tennessee bill proposes to make its way through the legislature. It sparked furious outrage online. It would establish a common law marriage between one man and one woman. Opponents of the bill said it would eliminate an age requirement, opening the door for a cover-up of child sex abuse. The bill's sponsor, Tom Leatherwood, says the law being considered would add a new marriage option for Tennessee. Quote, so all this bill does is give an alternative form of marriage for those pastors and other individuals who have whatever that word says, objection to the current pathway to marriage in our law. Missing from the bill are age requirements, opening the door for possible child marriages, something the bill sponsor acknowledged during a Children and Family Affairs subcommittee. Representative Mike Stewart, who is part of the subcommittee for the bill, pointed out many of the flaws. Quote, there is not an explicit age limit. I don't think any normal person thinks we should have an age limit, an age requirement for marriage. It should not be there, as it's basically a get out of jail free card for people who are basically committing statutory rape. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. So that's another reason why this terrible bill should be eliminated. And I've got to say, I completely agree with Mike Stewart. And Tom Leatherwood just sounds like a villain name. That just sounds like a bad guy. I've never met him. I've never seen him, but that sounds like an antagonist of some bad book.
You know what? I agree with that. I think he would be like working with like Lex Luthor or something. Just...
Tom Leatherwood.
Tom Leatherwood. What a name. Not a good guy from what I could tell. This is another case of what are we doing? Kind of, I don't understand why this is even a thought process for anyone, you know? This is just so bizarre and out of left field, I think. Anthony, what are you thinking here, man?
Just leave the LGBT community alone. Just for once. Just let them be. Like, they're not hurting you. They're just trying to live their own lives and just be their own people. And I feel like these people just, they have a gripe with everything. And honestly, eventually, I feel like once these people start to leave their positions of power and newer generations pick up the mantle, I think we'll see less and less of these stories. And hopefully we see less and less of these stories. And just the whole thing about like not having an age requirement for marriage, like why? Just make it 18 or 19. It's just, that just seems right. I don't know. Just
it's another just
it's
insane
just
story.
Head scratching, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
when I
get
saw
it.
the headline, I was just confused on like who needed this.
Exactly.
Who was asking for that?
Christians.
You heard it here first, guys. Christian. Mina.
I just feel like who wakes up and is like, yeah, let's just eliminate the age requirement for marriage. Like, what was your thought process? And how did you actually think that sounded good? Like, there's no way. Like, so what are you saying? That like an 8th grader can go get married right now?
Apparently. That seems to be the thought process.
Insane. Like that actually, like coming out of your mouth, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, you're literally saying that a 13-year-old is ready for the trials of marriage.
Exactly. And they can't say, oh, well, not that young, but you just got rid of the age requirement.
Mhm.
So it's like that can be anybody. Like literally, that can be everybody's up for grabs.
Yeah.
And now like a 30-year-old man can go and say, I want to marry this 12-year-old girl,
Yeah.
and it would be legal.
And it would be
And who's gonna
100%
stop
legal.
him?
If it passes, though. I will clarify that it has not passed yet. So
If it passes,
fingers crossed. But I think a lot of people thought Oklahoma wouldn't do that previously, like we mentioned earlier. But somehow, some way that passed, and with not much of an argument. So hopefully Tennessee is a little more intelligent, a little more pro people, I guess. This is just tough day. And this was a pretty popular trend on Twitter the other day, as it probably should be, because people were, I think, all on the same page as us. Like, what are we doing here?
Mhm.
So I don't know. Hopefully Tennessee will see this and clearly see the many flaws and just let people live their life, unless you're trying to marry children, because that's disgusting and you should be thrown into jail. And that's my opinion, obviously. We are going to move on back into more international news, as we are going to talk about some Ukrainian updates, as there's still a war going on between Ukraine and Russia. The United States and European Union plan to impose stiff new sanctions against Russia in relation for its war crimes in Ukraine after revelations of its atrocities in towns near Kyiv, including the discovery on Tuesday of 6 burned and blackened corpses. The new penalties by the US and its allies, which will be announced today, include a ban on new investments in Russia and intend to, in part, to impose acute and immediate economic harm on Russia. The European Union's executive branch on Tuesday proposed a ban on coal imports from Russia in what would be the first sanctions targeting Russia's lucrative energy income for its war in Ukraine. The coal imports amount to an estimated 4 billion euros, which is $4.4 billion per year. Quote, today we're proposing a fifth package of sanctions to take a clear stand is crucial for the whole world. And that is coming from the EU Commission on Twitter. And they also added a clear stand against Putin's war of choice against the massacre of civilians. I don't know if you guys were too familiar or have been updating the news for Ukraine or not, but I saw some very hard images to see. And I forget which town. I think it was Bucha. I think that was the town
it was the one with the big.
Yeah, where there were just bodies everywhere on the floor as like one car is driving, obviously recording it. And it was hard to watch because it's just seeing so many lifeless bodies there for no reason. And all of them were civilians. Those were not, people in the military. These are just normal people that were living their daily lives 6 months ago, however long ago. And now they're gone because of unnecessary violence, and Russia and all the military personnel taking part in this kind of atrocity need to be held accountable. And hopefully that these sanctions are able to hopefully stop the violence, but I don't know if we're going to get there yet. And I'm surprised it took this long for the European Union to really start taking that step in sanctions when it comes to like energy. But I guess I'm glad that they finally reached to that point because it's necessary, and hopefully this will prevent Russia from further attacking.
Yeah, just continuing to put the pressure on Russia is crucial at this point. I mean, you already cut off all their banks from the international system. You already took away all their pretty much technology imports, and now you're taking away their natural resources pretty much. They're going to be cut off from everything, and I think it's needed, because then you finally put pressure, and I hate to say this, but like you put the pressure on the people feel it first, and it's terrible because they probably have nothing to do with this war, but then they're going to start looking to the people in power, and maybe we see a revolution in Russia, another one. That could be something I see in the next maybe few months if things keep going the way they're going. And I think it's needed because we see what Putin's doing. We see where he's going and what he wants to do. and I think it's imperative that we stop him right now. And I've heard that Zelensky he addressed the UN. I think it was yesterday, and he said that he wants the UN to kick Russia off the Security Council. And if that happens, that's huge, because the Security Council is made up of 6 countries. I think it's US, UK, Russia, China, and I think maybe I forgot what the 5th country is, but there's one more. But those are like the big powers, and they could veto any law that gets bill that's proposed to the UN. And if you kick Russia out, that's a huge play, because now they have no stake in the international community anymore. As much like you need to keep doing what you do right now, keep the sanctions up, boot them out of the UN, do what you need to do, and then it sets a precedent for any other country going forward that if you do something like this, you're done.
Absolutely. I don't know if they will do it though or not. I think that they've been playing the situation that we want to hurt Russia, but we don't want to put Russia into the point where they're just gonna start shooting off rockets, I guess. I think that's probably their concern, which is why I don't know. And plus, they also rely so much on Russian energy for most of European power. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Aidan in the Shadow Realm.
Hey, my computer's almost dead, so we're gonna play the game called Will It Die Before I Can Read the Next Story? Hopefully not. No, but on a more serious note, I did read what was going on in Ukraine and Bucha. And I don't know if you saw just how deep those crimes against humanity went, but it wasn't just a ceaseless slaughter of civilians. There were signs of torture, burnings, and just all around the worst crimes you can commit against another human being, especially that of children. And I think we're getting at a point where this is less of a fight of Ukraine and more of a fight of the entire world against Russia. And I think we should see more countries stepping in, even though it may prompt Russia. We're seeing some of the worst war crimes imaginable right now, and we're really not doing anything more than sanctions.
What else can we do though?
We can't do much because the second America steps in, the whole country is up in arms. But Ukraine's neighboring countries can step in. Poland has already offered to house U.S. nuclear weapons as a threat against Russia. There's a lot more threats we can be taking that just aren't being taken because we're too afraid of drawing Russia's eye.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think most people are just afraid of making this a bigger conflict between more than 2 countries.
Exactly. And because of that, we're letting innocent women, children, and men die and be tortured at the hand of Russian soldiers.
Yeah, it's a very tough situation. Very quickly, Amina, Lana, do you have anything to add on here before we head to a break? No? All right, we'll head to a break.
Oh no.
All right, guys. When we come back, we are still talking about some heavy stuff. This time, we're going to take the stories to Africa. So we'll be right back here on the Morning Buzz.
I don't know where I'd be without the Laid Back Talk Show. Before the Laid Back Talk Show, my leg was broken and I couldn't read. But after just one episode of the Laid Back Talk Show with Nick Hughes, my leg was healed and I could read the dictionary, the whole thing.
And welcome back here to the Morning Buzz on WMSC 90.3 Upper Montclair. And this is the Morning Buzz. It is Isaiah, Aidan in the Shadow Realm, Amina, Lana, Anthony, the whole crew's here as normal on a Wednesday morning, guiding you through everything you need to know around the world and close to home. But now we're going to take the stories to Africa as they are dealing with a very, very tough food crisis. As West Africa is facing its worst food crisis in a decade due to increasing conflicts, droughts, floods, and the war in Ukraine. The number of West Africans needing emergency food assistance has nearly quadrupled from 7 million in 2015 to 27 million by this year in nations including Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Mali, and Nigeria, where thousands have also been displaced because of rising extreme violence. The number could jump to 38 million by June if action isn't taken soon to help people in the Sahel, the sweeping region south of the Sahara Desert, the group warned. Quote, cereal production in some parts of the region has dropped by amount of a third compared to last year. Family food supplies are running out. Drought, flood, conflict, and economic impacts of COVID-19 have also forced millions of people off their land, pushing them onto the brink. Children are suffering deeply, with estimates by the United Nations saying that some 6.3 million children 5 years and under will actually be malnourished this year. Young girls will also be faced the brunt of the problems, being forced into early marriages or facing gender-based violence as food becomes scarcer. Drought and poor rainfall distribution have reduced the food sources in many communities in the central Sahel region. Food prices have also increased by up to 30% in West Africa. Wow, that is another story where it's very hard to hear that kind of news, where not only is it just like people struggling to get food, but it's a lot of that stuff is out of their hand. Like they can't really control that. And so many things, like I don't think people really realize how impactful the war in Ukraine is on the entire world. And especially in regions like this, where now they had their own problems before, but now Ukraine is stopping, not Ukraine, but the war in Ukraine is stopping a lot of production and, the chance of having food delivered to these areas. So it's very hard to hear. What do you guys think?
Firstly, I didn't even know this was happening. So I find it's very interesting, like you said, just to see that the war has affected like so many other countries. I feel bad because it really is out of their control, and it's not something like that the country can necessarily do to help out. And I feel bad that like mainly for the children, because it's like they're basically at the end of it and they kind of have to take on everybody else's problems, I feel like, in the country.
It's these children they're only 5 and under pretty much. So we're not even talking about even kids 6 to 18 or something like that.
Exactly.
Like these are babies and they're born into this world with really no chance. And it's a tough pill to swallow, and to just hear that, because this is a story that you turn on the news, you're not going to hear about it. Like I've watched news channels and all this stuff, and I haven't heard a single thing about this food crisis at all. And it's a shame because it's very important, because they are just as much people as we are. And I think this story needs to be more well known to everyone else. Very quickly, did you guys know about this? No?
No.
We always hear about just the crises that are happening in Africa, and you never really notice until something like this is when it gets really bad.
Yeah.
Like this is to the point where it's like we need to sort of step in. I know climate change has played such a huge part in stuff like that. I've heard that there's just going to be mass migrations happening in the next few years, and this is just a byproduct of it. I think we need to start focusing a little bit more on helping our fellow man and trying to get more food and resources into Africa.
Absolutely. Very quickly, Lana, would you like to add anything on there?
I mean, I agree with all of that. Americans throw out like millions of pounds of food a day, and thought good food could be or even and it's food that hasn't even been touched. That good food could be sent to West Africa because these people are almost starving to death, and no one
Absolutely.
deserves that.
I don't know if you guys are too familiar with this. I'm sure Aidan might be. Actually, Anthony, you also worked at a shop, right?
Yep.
The amount of waste, especially in like the produce department for things that aren't spoiled, are absolutely insane. And the fact that so many companies, including ShopRite, Walmart, any grocery store, they throw away so many items that are perfectly edible that people can be eating. And even where I work, we make hot food. Once it's like at a certain time, we throw all of it away. Like we can't
Mhm.
even give it to our workers or anyone. It has to be thrown out. And I wish that could change somehow. Because so many people are starving out there. And it's just that's one of like the worst feelings, especially when you work a job like that, is having to throw away all that stuff and knowing that somebody out there could actually use it. And I don't know, this is just another tough situation. And hopefully throughout time, we can put more resources into Africa and give them the chance that we have here because most people here, I'm not going to say all because there are certain people that obviously cannot afford a daily meal or anything like that. But I think we take it a little bit for granted here that we have just, I could easily go to a 7-Eleven, buy some random snack, and I'll be good for the day. And that's accessible to me. But people in that West African region, that's not an opportunity that they have. And they have to really cherish every moment that they get food. So I don't know, appreciate what you have around you guys and enjoy what you have because some people don't have it and never will get it. So take that as a little perspective for today. We're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we got even more troubling news. So stay tuned for that. I know it's hard in the morning, but these are all the things that you need to know and be better prepared for your day.
One day, I'll teach chemistry to kids.
I'm going to be an architect.
My dream is to be a chef.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion
Oh, Facebook, you're allowed to hear me again. Guys, welcome back to the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMC Upper Montclair. It is the Wednesday edition of our spectacular show. Aidan, you are in the shadow realm. Your laptop was dying. You did not bring your charger. Can you read the next story?
I can.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. So, wait. Okay,
Oh.
never mind. I got thrown off for a second. Sorry.
the
More
shadow realm.
serious subject. There's been an update on the Sacramento shooting. A second suspect was arrested Tuesday in connection with the mass shooting that killed 6 people in Sacramento. He had posted a Facebook Live video of himself brandishing a handgun hours before gunfire erupted. 27-year-old Smiley Martin, who is the brother of the first suspect taken into custody, was arrested while hospitalized with bullet wounds from the shooting in Sacramento. Martin was released from prison on probation in February, less than a year after prosecutors implored the state parole board not to release him early from a 10-year sentence, noting convictions for possessing an assault weapon, thefts, and beating a girlfriend. Investigators believe the brothers possessed stolen guns. They are reviewing financial documents, call records, and social media messages to determine how and when they obtained the weapons. More than 100 shots were fired early Sunday near the state capitol, creating a chaotic scene with hundreds of panicked people trying desperately to reach safety. 12 people were wounded by gunfire, including the Martin brothers. Dondre Martin, 26, was arrested Monday as a related suspect on charges of assault with a deadly weapon and being a convict carrying a loaded gun. Wow, we are going like 0 for 4 right now on bummer stories for the day. What happened, Isaiah?
Well, sometimes when you're making a show, you go and you look at all the home pages of every news site available, and you realize these are all the top stories of the day. So you kind of have to follow in line with what the world gives you. And apparently on a Tuesday night, and then there was a lot of negativity. So sorry about that. But this is the news, and regardless if good or bad, we still do have to report on it. And here we are, discussing this another story where it's very troubling to hear again. And I know Tuesday did a great job of covering this story actually, and yeah, it was just very. I think it was the biggest mass shooting that we've had this year. Don't quote me on it, but I'm almost certain that's what it was. But it's just we keep kind of saying the same thing when it comes to these stories, where we need to just have better control over this. And not only that, but the fact that there were clearly warning signs that Smiley Martin was a troubled person and they still let him out of jail is definitely concerning as well, because they clearly told him not to release him early for a 10-year sentence. And then listing off what he did, I mean, clearly he had bad intentions in mind when he came out, if that's the kind of human that he's shown to be. And he clearly probably didn't show any remorse and they still let him out. So I don't know. There's a lot of places you can go with this kind of story. It's hard to hear yet again. I'll give it to Amina. What do you think about this situation?
First of all, I think it's always hard to point out signs of when things like this are gonna happen, just because you can never 100% know. And I feel like in this case, even with Smiley, it's like you release him, but it's like everything that he did prior, you're not thinking like it's gonna be like a mass shooting level. So I feel like no matter what, you kind of can't prevent it from happening in a way, besides like obviously the gun laws. But other than that, I feel like there's no definite way, unless you have like actual proof or evidence beforehand indicating, okay, like this person may do this, like a plan or something. But other than that, it's usually not like a key sign. So there's really like, I don't want to say there's nothing we can do, because I feel like that sounds really like disheartening, but in a way it's not. So it's kind of like when these things do happen, it's like we're just down once again.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we can do, like people in this room, is obviously hopefully elect officials that are obviously have an agenda to prevent this kind of action from happening, putting better restrictions, banning certain kind of weapons, all that kind of ordeal going on. But That's all that we can do. And really it's up to the people that we elect, and whether or not they are really passionate about it, or it's just words that they would like to say and that get them elected. They have to take action. And hopefully, in the future we see more government officials obviously take that action, and then things like this are less likely to happen. But once again, it's a scenario where not lifeless, but civilians' lives are taken for no reason. They were all living their own lives. It was a Sunday night. They were at the bars, hanging out around, and all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, they're all gone. 6 people. For what? There's no motive that we know of. It doesn't seem like they were bad people. I know yesterday we read the names on air, and forgive me for not remembering the names, but AP did a great job describing the kind of humans that they were, and they all seemed like it was a wide range of people too. There was a 22-year-old, I believe, a 56-year-old, and now they don't exist anymore. They're gone from their families, from their lives, and for what? And how? How is this still happening in this country? It's an insane thing. Very quickly, Anthony, anything else to add here?
Not really. I mean, yeah, at least these guys are in custody, and I just pray that hopefully we just continue to work with our elected officials on changing the gun policies. One thing I do want to say though is at least we're hearing fewer and fewer stories of mass shootings lately. It's becoming not as common as it was a few years ago. That's the one thing I can just say about this. I mean, it should be zero. It should ever happen, but at least we're not talking about it like every other day like it was back in like 2017, 2016. So, I mean, we're moving in the right direction, but I still think there still needs to be more work to be done.
Yeah, I'm going to knock on wood on that one. Hopefully that continues to not occur anymore in this country, and people will value the lives not only for themselves, but the people around them. We're going to move on to our next story. And this is actually not a terrible story to hear, guys. So stay tuned for that, as the Biden administration plans to freeze federal student loan payments through August 31st, extending a moratorium period that has allowed millions of Americans to postpone payments during the coronavirus pandemic. Student loan payments were scheduled to resume May 1st after being halted since early in the pandemic, but following calls from Democrats in Congress, the White House plans to give borrowers additional time to prepare for payments. The action applies to more than 43 million Americans who owe a combined $1.6 trillion, I will say that again, $1.6 trillion in student debt held by the federal government. That includes more than 7 million borrowers who have defaulted on student loans, meaning they're at least 270 days late on payments. Borrowers will not be asked to make payments until after August 31st, and interest rates are expected to remain at 0% during that period. Senator Patty Murray said more time is needed to help Americans prepare for repayment and to rethink the government's existing system for repaying student debt. Quote, "It's ruining lives and holding people back. Borrowers are struggling with the rising costs, struggling to get their feet back under them after the public health and economic crises, and struggling with a broken student loan system. And all of this is felt especially hard by borrowers of color." Murray called on the Biden administration to lift all borrowers out of default to provide a fresh start following the pandemic. Hey guys, we did it. We made it to like a pretty good story. Woo! Okay. For you guys, I know it's pretty early on for some of you, but Amina, you're a little bit later into your college career. You're a junior, right?
Yes.
So for student loans, when it comes to that, is that something that you've really put a lot of thought into during your college time so far?
Yes and no. So fortunately for me, I haven't taken out any loans.
Nice.
But I feel like for me, it's been tempting to do so just because I feel like it's easy. Like they're not gonna tell me no. So
Yeah, exactly.
they're not gonna tell me no. So I feel like it's easy for me to just be able one semester to say, okay, maybe I should take out this loan. If I like, sometimes it's not looking too good for me. So I'll be like, okay, maybe I want to take it out. But then I'm like, no. But then I always think about, okay, if I do, I'm basically going to be paying this back. And it's like, am I going to be able to? So I always kind of think in that mindset. But I haven't necessarily been put in the position where I am in debt. So I feel like I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I would say for me, I don't have the best what's the word? I guess the best.
I think I understand what you're
feedback.
saying. Yeah. As someone that is in a pretty good amount of student loan debt, thank you, government. It's definitely exciting to hear that, I guess. But at the same time, when I hear news like this, I take it like a little bit with a thumbs up kind of deal. But then I also am reminded of how unaffordable college really is for most people, especially if you live on campus. Like I lived on campus for one semester, and good Lord, was that bill quite a lot of money. So I wish if I could go back, I'd probably maybe change that part of my life. But yeah, it's just I want to be happy about this, like good that they're putting a pause on payments, but I think the real dilemma relies on college and not really being truly affordable. Like no person should have to work like a full-time job while trying to go to school, while also trying to get into their career path. It's really hard, firsthand experience, having to try to, because like you, I was, for the most part, after I lived on campus for the one semester, I was working pretty much 24/7 to not take out student loans. And then this semester, it kind of all caught up and I had to again. So, the feeling of even taking out a loan is one, it's a little bit of relief, but then it's like, oh my God, and I gotta either way, that is getting paid somehow. Like, regardless of what I think, at some point I gotta pay the government back for my student loans. And it's tough sometimes because you're like, I'm feeling good money wise, getting it back together, and I'm like, still gotta pay the government like thousands of dollars. And this is a more affordable school. That's the crazy part. Initially, I didn't want to go to Montclair State. I want to go out of school.
Same.
And then I very quickly realized I cannot afford that. So then I end up here, and it has saved me a pretty great chunk of change, and I'm grateful for that. But I don't know. I think it could be better. And there's definitely people that have it worse off than me that have to do so much more. And, I'm even just, grateful for the opportunity to even do something like this, because 2 years ago, that would not even be feasible. So, yeah, very quickly, we have two freshmen, correct?
Sophomore.
You're kind of freshman. You're a freshman. No, I'm kidding.
Sure.
Is this news exciting for you guys at all?
I'm in the same boat as Amina. I don't really take out that many loans. I don't think I've taken that one yet. I might have taken some out by the end of college, but I think this is great. I think that a lot of young adults are put into so much debt out of college because they just can't afford these student loans. The only thing that I see is just how are we going to pay back that debt collectively as a country? Because that's $1.1 trillion, right? 1.1 trillion, you said?
1.6 trillion.
$1.6 trillion dollars. That really is like just sitting there. That has to get paid back. And I don't know like who is going to be the one that has to pay that back. It might be federal government. In that case, taxes again. Federal taxes are going to go way up. It's just the bill's just going to get forked over to someone else. And eventually, you may not be paying it right now as a student loan, but you're just going to repay it as a tax. So I don't know.
Yeah. Interestingly, I forget what school it was. I think it was New Mexico, where they made all state colleges free tuition. I believe it's in New Mexico, but if that's possible there, I don't understand why that's not possible as a country as a whole. Now, I'm not saying like UCLA needs to be free for everyone, but I think there needs to be an affordable, free, and an actually helpful college institution that provides people with a chance to further their education and then set themselves better for their rest of their lives, I don't know. Very quickly, Lana.
I haven't taken any loans out as of right now, but it is something that is probably going to like come up in the future. And this is kind of nice to hear. That I'll have like more time to be able to pay it back. I live on campus, and that bill is pretty high. Yeah.
Lastly, Aidan, once again in the shadows.
Hey.
Aidan, we love you. Your voice here. We love. I'm not gonna say we, but shout out to you, Caitlin.
Love you, Caitlin. Good morning. Sorry.
Terrible boyfriend. No, I'm kidding. What do you think, very briefly, before we head to a break?
Joe Biden was supposed to cancel my debt like what, a year ago now? I don't care anymore. He lied to me already. I don't believe anything.
Liar, Joe. You lied to us. Well, Joe, get it together. So we're gonna take a quick break. Thank you guys all for that hour. It was a tough one, but hour 2 will hopefully be a little bit better, a little more positive to kickstart your morning. It's rainy out, so I have to go with the theme of rain. Anyways, when we come back, we got some stuff to talk with about what we're gonna do for the rest of the week with Lana, and maybe some other fun stories. But until then, we'll see you when you're back. All right. I don't know what voice this is. Bye. I apologize for accidentally putting my headphones on places they don't belong, messing up the vibes. But listen, we all make mistakes. I can forgive, and you can forgive me as well. We're gonna move on and pretend like it didn't happen, because we got some other things to do on this show. But first off, Amina, we need you to take care of business. Put us in line here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We need to know what's going on around the world. Please take it away.
All right. So, in national news, former President Barack Obama returned to the White House yesterday after a 5-year absence. He was celebrating one of his signature achievements, the Affordable Care Act, alongside the man who served with him in the building for 8 years, our current president, Joe Biden. The healthcare law remains one of the lasting legacies of the Obama administration. In state news, Matthew Donovan of Blairstown says that a bear is responsible for killing a dozen of his chickens. He says that he is concerned that this could be an ongoing thing now that Governor Phil Murphy has canceled the New Jersey black bear hunt. Donovan says that he doesn't necessarily want to see bears killed, but he says that he is concerned about what an increased bear population can do. In local news, a pancake fund relay race on Bloomfield Avenue raised nearly $2,000 for Ukrainian relief organizations. The event was organized by St. James Episcopal Church and the Upper Montclair Business Association. Close to 100 people were in attendance, and community members lined the route to show their support. The church has committed another $1,000, bringing the amount to be donated to about $3,000. All of the money raised will be sent to the Episcopal Ukraine Relief Fund. The weather today, it is raining with a high of 55 and a low of 44, with a humidity level of 89% and good air quality at 43.
Thank you very much, Amina. As normal, we appreciate you for filling us in on everything we need to know. But now we got to take it down to sports. Anthony, I'm wearing a basketball jersey. Tell me what's going on, man.
Of course. In sports news, Major League Baseball announced yesterday that it would start allowing pitchers and catchers to use anti-sign stealing technology to avoid opposing teams from sign stealing, the league announced Tuesday. This comes after a multitude of scandals coming out of the MLB in the last few years regarding sign stealing through the use of outside technology, most notably involving the 2017 Houston Asterix and the 2018 Boston Red Sox. The device is a set of buttons that, when pressed, give the pitch and positioning to the pitcher and fielders so there is no way that the other team can see. This change is to be put into effect this upcoming season. Tiger Woods announced yesterday that as of right now, he plans on playing in this year's Masters tournament. Woods, who was recently involved in a car crash last year, injured his leg and was thought to be not playing again until 2023. The 5-time Masters champion is only one green jacket shy of tying the all-time mark set by Jack Nicklaus, but it won't come easy. Woods still says he feels pain in his leg and that the walk between shots could hamper his game. But fortunately for golf fans, we will see him again in Augusta this year. The Los Angeles Lakers were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs last night in a 121-110 loss to the Suns. LeBron James elected to sit out of the contest with ankle soreness despite the team facing elimination. Head coach Frank Vogel said after the loss, quote, "Disappointed for our fan base, disappointed for the Buss family, who gave us all this opportunity, and we want to play our part and bring success to Laker basketball, and we fell short." The Lakers were looked to be title contenders this year, but with injuries to key stars like Anthony Davis and some massive underperformers like Russell Westbrook, the Lakers will be watching the playoffs from the couch. The Rangers took the final showdown in the Hudson River rivalry last night, beating the Devils 3-1. Alexander Georgiev finished with 20 saves. This propels the Rangers to 96 points, which is second in the Metropolitan Division. And the Islanders fell to the Stars last night 3-2. Defenseman Noah Dobson added 2 assists in the loss.
Right in the loss. Tough, man. No one likes a good losing performance, but hey, that happens from time to time. But more importantly, we have some things to do during the week when we're not doing homework, when we're not eating, when we're not driving on Route 80 or whatever route you want to be driving on. Lana is the only person that can put us into place and tell us what to do with our free time. Lana, how can we pass some time?
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 comes out on Friday in theaters and it is rated PG. The world's favorite blue hedgehog is back for a next level adventure in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. After settling in Green Hills, Sonic is eager to prove that he has what it takes to be a true hero. His test comes when Dr. Robotnik returns, this time with a new partner, Knuckles, in search for an emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick, Tails, and together they embark on a globe-trotting journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands.
Ooh, have anyone seen Sonic 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Amina, Aidan, please give us a review of Sonic 1.
Well, as the resident film major here, I think I can tell you that it was a good movie. I liked it.
Oh, a good movie.
It was a good movie. I liked it. I like watching it.
I'm just sad that Jim Carrey's retiring.
Oh, wow.
Ain't no way he's retiring before he plays Fat Eggman.
He just did.
Nah,
He
he's gonna
announced
play
it.
Eggman in the third movie.
He said unless there's a great script, I'm done acting. And I was
Yeah,
like,
and then that great script probably comes in like 2 years.
Jim,
Here's the thing: anytime I hear
don't
like an actor or a musician say, "You know what, I'm retired," you know what happens? They always come back. Always. No, none of these people are ever fully retired, except maybe Bruce Willis, because
oh yeah,
that one's that's a health scenario. If it's health related, I get it.
Michael J.
But Jim
Fox.
Carrey, he's gonna come back in The Mask, the sequel,
Dumb and Dumber 3
Yeah.
Tree
3D.
3D
Yep.
Tree. Yeah.
Are there even 3D movies anymore?
I don't really think so.
Like, is 3D dead?
It might be.
It should be. It probably should be.
IMAX.
IMAX, yeah.
Oh, have you guys ever been to a 4D theater?
No.
I
Is that
want
another-
to try
Wait,
one.
where like the whole room?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the whole. Well, it's 3D, like the visual, right?
Uh-huh.
But then it's like your chair will shake if there's like an action scene going on, or what crazy one was there's like a water scene, like
Oh, and they
water will.
spray? Oh, like the roller coaster.
Yeah,
I
like
remember
that,
I
but a
was
whole
in
movie.
like Universal,
do
and there was one of those like it was like a Shrek one, a Shrek themed one, and there was like one part where there were like bugs all across the screen, and like they had like these little like things that would like bump up like on the floor and like make it feel like there was bugs crawling underneath your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no bugs, please. No. But yeah, Sonic 2. I'm excited to, I should probably see the first one, I think. I like Sonic. He's cool. Little blue dog. He's not a hedgehog. The running bit is that I refuse to call Sonic a hedgehog for some reason in every Tuesday article about Sonic. But yeah, so Sonic, he's blue and he's in theaters again.
Yo,
What else
Aidan.
do we have?
Yo,
Lana?
Metal Lords comes out on Friday. It is not rated on Netflix. Two kids want to start a heavy metal band in high school where exactly two kids care about heavy metal. Hunter, played by Adrian Greensmith, is a diehard metal fan. Is there any other kind? Who knows his history and can shred? His dream in life is to win the upcoming Battle of the Bands. He enlists his best friend Kevin, played by Jadine Martell, to man the drums, but when schoolmates more interested in Bieber than Black Sabbath, finding a bassist is a struggle. Until Kevin overhears Emily, played by Isis Hensworth, slaying on her cello. The motley crew must contend with school, parents, and hormones and teen angst while trying to get along enough for a band name that I cannot say because we are FCC compliant to win the Battle of the Bands.
That well,
that sounds awful.
That sounds
School of
terrible.
Rock, baby. School of Rock
That's
Part 2.
Okay, I gotta be honest. I feel like this has the potential. I imagine that somehow Kevin falls in love with Emily. That description was entirely full with 99% puns. That was definitely a journey to listen to. Is anyone gonna watch that movie?
It's Netflix School of Rock.
It was a journey to say.
Shred.
But yeah, that's
Alright.
all right, Lana. What else can we watch?
We got one more on the movie docket for this week. All the Old Knives comes out Friday on Prime Video and is rated R. When the CIA discovers one of its agents leaked information that cost more than 100 people their lives, veteran operative Henry Pelham, played by Chris Pine, is assigned to root out the mole form among his former office mates at the agency's Vienna station. His investigation takes him from Austria to England to California, where he is reunited with his one-time colleague and ex-lover Celia Harrison, played by Thandween Newton. The pair are forced to blur the lines between profession and passion in this riveting tale of global espionage, mortal ambiguity, and deadly betrayal.
Well, if generic action movie was a thing, it would probably be called All the Old Knives.
This is a spy thriller. This is an action
I was
movie.
thinking this is
Really,
gonna
this
be-
is something that you guys are gonna watch.
This is a spy
No.
thriller.
What
do you mean no?
I'm saying no. No, I'm not gonna go see this.
I know, but like you said, like so, like no, I'm never seeing this.
Okay, this
I'm
sounds
not.
just so.
I mean, maybe.
Mm-mm.
Like this is not even an airplane movie for me. Once again, I don't think Chris Pine is probably putting people in the seats either these days. No offense to you, Chris. But yeah, this movie doesn't really do anything for me. Aidan, back in the Shadow Realm. You are a resident movie guy yet again. Even though that you are not the only film major, for some reason I only believe you to be the film guy for some reason. Lana is also our resident film major. But is All the Old Knives going to be the next big Hollywood hit?
No.
And that has been Aidan reporting live from the
you
Shadow
guys.
Realm.
You guys have no faith. I have all the faith in the world. This movie. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna tell you my review next.
Okay,
week.
wait, are you actually going to watch it?
Yes.
Okay, next week review All the Old Knives. I'm going to put it here on our little script review.
It's gonna be
by
the
Anthony.
best movie ever.
I really doubt that.
No matter how bad it is, I'm going to say it's the best movie ever.
You know what? I respect the bit, but if we could get an honest review, that'd be great.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Because I think it's going to be an actual.
we'll do that too.
Dumpster fire. But Lana, we've been watching movies. We've been enjoying Netflix, the movie theater, Amazon Prime, Walmart Plus, ShopRite on the go. Every app probably has a streaming service at this point, even our very own school.
That's true.
But some people like to game, man. Like to put on the sticks. Please, what can we play this week?
Well, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga came out yesterday for PS5, Xbox Series XS, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. And tomorrow, The House of the Dead comes out for the Switch.
Okay, that is exciting because I'm not a Lego Star Wars fan, but I have a strange feeling one human at the minimum is probably very excited about this game. A resident Star Wars human being. Anthony, Lego Star Wars is
my
out.
goodness.
Have you
All
bought
right.
in it? Are you gonna
All right.
play it? Is this your genre of thing?
I love Star Wars,
Oh, there's gonna
but
be
I'm
no
not a
blood.
Lego Star Wars guy.
Wow.
Never was. Never was.
Interesting.
I'm sure my brother's gonna be playing that because he was a huge Lego Star Wars kid growing
What a
up.
nerd.
But
kidding.
yeah, a couple of my friends here on campus, they were going crazy for this. They were telling me, oh, when you come over to the room, like our room, we're gonna be playing Lego Star Wars. I go, I'm just not gonna. And they're like, no, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like trying to force me into playing this game, and I'm just sort of like, I just don't care either way. Like,
Yeah.
the best Lego game, Lego Batman, far.
Oh, Amina, what is the best Lego game?
To me, I think the best one is the Lego Harry Potter, but that's just me.
Fair.
Potter.
All right.
Wait, Amina, did you have like a killer British accent?
I
feel?
do.
Okay.
I do.
Explain your next sentence, but using that accent, please.
Okay. All right. So I do enjoy the Lego games a lot actually. I played Lego Star Wars back when I was a child. I think it was fun. I never really paid much attention to the storyline, but other than that, I won't be playing this one, but I wouldn't necessarily say that the Lego Star Wars is bad.
Star Wars.
Amina Granger. Amina Granger.
I felt immersed right there. It was like Hogwarts in real life. Amina,
Thank
that's
you.
your next role. You're gonna be in the next
Please.
Harry Potter franchise.
I've only ever dreamt of it.
Lego edition though. Lego edition. Not the real one.
Uh,
Hate to sell you short, but that's what's gonna happen.
Lego Harry Potter the movie.
Lego.
featuring Amina.
Well, didn't they do that for the Batman? Oh no, that's the Lego movie.
They did Lego Batman movie.
They did Lego Batman.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's possible, I guess. That just seems. Did you guys watch the Lego movies?
I
No.
did.
I didn't.
Really? Are you guys Lego people?
I like.
Um,
I actually recently. This is gonna sound really stupid.
You bought a Lego set, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
So I went to like. So I was at the mall with a few of my boys the other day, and there's a Lego store.
Yeah.
I walk in, because curious mind, And then I saw that they had like these like little like stations where you can make like your own Lego minifigures.
Mhm.
It was 3 for $10. I did it.
You
Bring the figures.
Oh yeah, so there's 3 of them. So there's Firebending Jesus.
Nice.
all right.
Okay.
So it's a guy with like a beard and like he has like one of those like flame things. So I call him Firebending Jesus. There's Jedi Panda.
Okay.
It's this character who has like a panda head on, and then he has like a lightsaber. So I call him Jedi Panda. And then there's the hockey player. He's just a hockey player.
Just hockey player.
He's just hockey player.
Is he
yeah.
Canadian?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's Canadian.
Canadian hockey player.
Yep.
Jesus.
And
a
Firebending
panda.
Jesus and Jedi Panda.
God. Was it worth the $10?
Oh, it was so worth it.
Okay.
They're sitting on my desk right now, so I'll bring them in next week.
All right. So we need a movie review and a Lego review.
Lego minifigures and the review of Chris Pine's new movie.
Next week is going to be a very heavy Anthony show. All hour 2, nothing but Anthony content for you guys.
So exciting.
Aidan, are you a Lego guy?
I want you guys to take a good long think
You're
about
100%
me.
a Lego.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually just bought one the other night.
Like a set? Or
Like I
okay.
said. I got really bored and I bought one off Amazon.
Do you build them like all the way?
Actually, sometimes I build them with my girlfriend, but this time, yeah, I just built it. It was a small one. I usually get like the $15 ones.
Interesting. What is the coolest Lego set you built then?
Oh, wait. That's a good question.
Hmm.
You see The Mandalorian season 1?
I've not.
Anthony, you see The Mandalorian season 1?
I have.
You know his ship?
The
I s-
Razor Crest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a good quarter of my paycheck on that.
That's awesome.
Good
Dude.
quarter of your paycheck.
Wait, you and your girlfriend do Lego dates?
Yeah, like when we're getting gifts for each other, we have this little
That's
trend now where
nice.
along with all our gifts, we'll get like the little $5 boxes for each other and then build them.
Wow.
Oh, that happens in the Lifetime, my Hallmark movies.
And Amina's Bermuda for the lifetime agenda.
Lego relationships. The new Hallmark movie.
Hey, shout out to Caitlin though. I respect it. Has she always been a Lego person, or is that something you forced upon her?
Oh, well, I definitely forced it upon her now, but she was when she was a kid.
Okay. Yeah. I like Legos, but I never really bought the sets. You know.
Same.
But I respect y'all. Y'all do what you got to do.
I bought a few. My boyfriend did buy me a Lego Batman set, so I've been working on that for my birthday.
Is it a giant Batman?
It's a Batmobile.
Oh, cool.
I want the Lego Death Star.
See, now that seems very frustrating to build.
No, I mean it's just like a puzzle. Like you do puzzles.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about puzzles. All right. Every now and then, a regular puzzle, like 2D puzzle with like 100 pieces, very small amount of pieces. I can rock with that. There was one time I got like a 3D puzzle of a green apple. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
A green apple?
Yeah. It was for Christmas one year. Opened it up. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this puzzle. And I got very frustrated, gave up, then remembered I had the puzzle, and then I said, I'm gonna complete it. And that was something like in the summertime, probably. Did it, and I was not happy when I finished. I hate puzzles. I'm not a puzzle person.
You know what? You got to exercise your brain a little bit, Isaiah.
Hey, that's why I got Duolingo.
Oh, I had to get rid of that.
Why was the owl assaulting your
Yeah.
notifications?
Every 5 seconds.
Did you practice your Spanish today?
Yeah. I'm like, just leave me alone. Delete.
I rock with you, Duolingo Owl. Their social media is great as well. Very briefly, is anyone going to get Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga and
Yes.
or
No.
The House of the Dead? Did Aidan say yes?
Yes.
Oh, so you're very excited about this.
Not very excited.
Okay.
Like I'm kind of burnt out, but I am going to pick it up because I've heard from my friends that it's good.
Isn't it just like a remake of the other ones?
No, this one, they like completely updated the combat and stuff. Like it's still basic because it's a Lego game. But
Yeah.
my friend said it was like surprisingly fun.
Oh, well, there you go. If you're interested, go play a Lego game, I guess. Only if you want to, because we can't force that upon you here. We are gonna move on to a story for today. It's Coke for gamers, but the PG version, everyone. Coke's recent foray into bold new flavors has its latest entry, and that entry is a limited edition beverage. Coca-Cola Starlight, a red version of the iconic soda with the flavor inspired by space. How can you make space a flavor? I don't know, but maybe I can tell you how. Now the company is one-upping itself because that was a recipe of the past, and they are introducing Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Bite, a new flavor that is supposed to taste like, you guessed it, pixels. Yep, you can taste the pixel. Only with Coke, though. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Bite makes the intangible taste and pixels tangible. And that comes from Owana Vlad, the senior director of strategy at Coca-Cola. It's the Coca-Cola taste you know and love, but with bright elements of upfront and refreshing with the finish. Bite existed online before it did in real life. The product appeared globally late in March on a little island of this small indie game known as Fortnite. Yes, Fortnite has come to life now, as there is a place called Pixel Point, and Anthony seems to be a Fortnite kind of guy.
Yes.
So yeah, the drink comes from the hit game Fortnite. Players were able to drink it, I guess, in the game, buy it with virtual currency. I don't know how you got a hand on it in the game. Maybe Anthony could describe that to us, because good Lord, that game is confusing to me. But apparently you can taste the pixel, guys, and that is very exciting.
Coca-Cola that tastes like pixels.
Yes.
I feel like that tastes how TV static smells.
How does that smell?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you
You
smell?
never smelt like TV static?
How can
No.
you smell it?
Like as a kid, it has like a distinct smell. Like you go right up to the TV, like while it's like doing like the little white noise thing. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
I do.
it's got a smell.
I'm concerned with the fact that you were walking up to the TV just smelling it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, why are you smelling TVs, man? That seems very
Being
weird.
being a kid, you get curious. You go
Hold on, Anthony.
You
Hold on,
smell-
I'm gonna
you
take a
smell
quick
TVs,
poll,
you
Anthony.
You smell TVs. You smell.
Hold on.
stuff.
Everyone in this room has been a kid at some point in their life. And including in the shadow realm. Lana, have you ever smelt a TV before?
No, and I've done some pretty weird things.
Exactly. Amina,
smelled
have you
TV
ever
static.
smelt a
Come
TV
on.
before?
Absolutely not.
You don't
That's
know
what I
TV
thought.
static smells.
Hold
like.
on,
That's like a
Anthony.
common thing.
Aidan, in the shadow realm, things are a little bit different. But do you people smell TVs in that room?
Yes,
I had a feeling.
but not intentionally.
Why do I thought you for once you'd be on my side, Aidan. But then I remembered who you are. And no, apparently you would sniff.
No, I didn't just go up sniffing TVs.
How did
No.
it happen?
You know those weird old TVs that were massive with like the dome screen, and you went up, and if you put your finger on it, it would like give you a little static shock.
Yes.
Yeah, I would go there, and I would sometimes it would like it made that smell of like hot electronics, like a printer.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
Wait,
An electric
What?
current itself doesn't have an odor, but in instances when electricity becomes visible or audible, it also creates a distinctive smell. The smell electricity emits is the contents of the gases created when electricity conducts through air. I am right.
yes, but
Why?
why were you willingly?
I wasn't willingly doing it. I just smelt it. You don't willingly go up and smell stuff like that. It's just like you smell it.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. Anthony. It
Yes.
seems like you're backtracking now.
No.
I'm almost certain.
I know what
6-year-old
TV static
you
smells like.
woke up one morning and you decided
I watched some
wonder what that
SpongeBob,
smells
and you
like.
know what? I want to smell some TV static.
That's exactly what happened. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it. We still support you.
But Coca-Cola Pixels taste like TV static.
That's gonna be their new
Wait,
quote.
But how will you know what it tastes like?
Cause like
Oh, I totally licked the screen of the TV.
All right.
What is
See,
happening, Aidan?
No, that's not.
Who are you?
That's not fair. It gave the weird static thing, and I wanted.
And you just thought, oh, let
And
me
that
go
was your
lick this
response?
screen.
How old were you?
It was yesterday.
You don't want to know the answer to that. This is coming from the kid who bought that blue fire was cold because it was blue. I'm not the one who should be asking these questions.
Oh my god. Aidan, I feel like much like Lana, I learned so much about you guys on this show that makes me just It makes me wonder how.
For once, it's not me.
Yeah, for once it's not you, Lana. You're the normal one here.
No, she's the Russian spy.
Oh, not the Russian spy.
I'm not Russian.
Put that on a t-shirt. I'm not Russian. Anyways, guys, we are gonna take a quick break. We might talk about Coke when we come back because yeah, pixels. Anyways, when we come back, we got some more stories to talk about. Probably like a violent bunny, an origin story, coffee, maybe even esports, and Star Fox spin-off series called Law Fox. That's not real. Anyways, guys, when we come back, you get to learn about that. So stay tuned.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit stoptextsstopwrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In the Loop is a weekly email sent to all students every Sunday afternoon during the regular semester. It features upcoming events and programs hosted by clubs and organizations, colleges and schools, and departments on campus. These events are pulled from Engage, a portal where you can log in and see what's happening on campus any day, anytime. In addition to the chronological listing of events for the coming week, In the Loop also features ongoing opportunities, such as the Group X schedule, encouraging you to listen to the radio station on campus, or to get involved with the SGA, to name a few. We encourage all students to read In the Loop, as it's a great way to see what's happening and how you can get involved on campus.
And we are back here on the Morning Buzz on WMSC 90.3 Upper Monroe. Claire. And why am I whispering? I don't know, but it's gonna be ASMR for the rest of the show.
Oh God, please no.
Yeah, please no.
So everyone, we're gonna have a great time.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. Guys, we have to readdress what was talked about before the break. Back to Coke. Lana, you had more information about the smell. Could you please tell us your
Yes.
source being your mother? Shout out to Lana's mom.
My mom is a high school chem teacher, so she would know about this kind of stuff. The smell that Anthony was talking about in the TV, it's ozone, and it is not very good to breathe in.
I'm not crazy.
Okay, once again, I said this during break. If you have to say the sentence, I am not crazy.
I'm just saying.
Normally
Well,
that
that
means
just
something.
proved I was not crazy.
I don't know about
It just
that.
proved what it is and that you shouldn't do it.
No,
But
I agree
it
with
proves
Anthony.
that
Of course,
I was
Aidan agrees
truthful.
with Anthony.
It's the funny electric smell. I was saying that like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it's the funny smell.
Clearly, you guys have inhaled too much.
Too much, way too much.
Yeah.
That is anyways, before we get back to our next story, Anthony, have you seen the movie Poltergeist?
No, actually, I'm not.
Wow. Okay.
watched Poltergeist.
Well, I guess I'm really old then.
I did.
You saw it?
Yeah. It was
Well,
hilarious.
you're older then. I guess you're the cutoff then. You're the last year to watch Poltergeist. Aidan, have you seen Poltergeist?
I don't think I have.
Okay, how can you be a film major and not watch one of like the original horror movies?
See, I always say that, but I'm actually a film major who doesn't really watch any movies.
That's literally every film major. And you know what they'll say to you when you're like, oh, I like grown-ups. They'll be like, oh, you like grown-ups? Why don't you watch real movies? Like,
But grown-ups is
shut
so
up, film
funny.
majors. Most of you, I despise you.
I'm
But
not-
Aidan and Lana, I like you.
I'm
You're
not a
good
huge
people.
fan of like ghost horror movies. I like either like realistic horror movies like
Ugh.
The Shining.
like Transformers.
The Shining or like
I thought The Shining was
The
realistic.
Shining is real. There were two evil twins.
yeah, but the guys that act
What are you
murder-
talking about?
But like the main horror
the
is
kid
the
right
guy
up
is the
straight
dad
to
who's
the
like trying to
hole?
kill the family. That's the main horror of the movie.
Like of all
So you like-
realistic movies, you chose that. Like you could have said like I
It's a-
like
it's a-
real
it's a-
movies like
it's a murder movie.
The
It's not like
Pursuit of
a-
Happiness.
It's
So
not
you-
horror movies.
Oh, horror movies.
You like horror movies that
Okay.
like actually can happen.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes.
So like The Strangers, have you seen that one?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's
that
a
was
good
your
horror
kind of
movie.
vibe?
Yeah, I'm not a huge like extraterrestrial or like sci-fi
Mm.
horror. I'm like
Okay.
more of like I like horror that's like realistic, like that could actually happen. 'cause
Okay.
That scares me.
They
Like,
can
that-
be right outside your window right
exactly.
now.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
There's this funny story. I remember my grandma and my mom were home and they were watching The Strangers. And then so at that point, I think pretty much everyone was still living at the house. And then all of a sudden, like they're at like the climax of the movie. It's very stressful because at the beginning of the movie, they're like, this is based on a true story. So you're already kind of like, oh God, this is real. All of a sudden, loud bang at the door, like and like they like freak out and they're both just sitting there like, we're not gonna open that door. Then it like knocked again. And then my brother came out of his room and he's like, oh, that's just my friend knocked on the door. And then so he opens the door. It's like, why are you banging it like that? He's like, oh, I was just trying to mess with visual. But yeah, it was a very funny story where they almost lost their hearts in that in that moment because it's such a like tense kind of movie towards the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, also here's my thing. Sometimes when you see like based on a true story at the beginning of a movie, do you ever just think like sometimes, I don't think that's real?
Oh no, I think it's real. I don't like those. I
Really?
don't like
Okay.
those. Because I'm like, even if it's not the exact same thing, it's like that person
Mhm.
existed and that person may very well still be out there.
So have you seen what is the not the Poltergeist? What is the
Conjuring?
Conjuring, yeah.
Yeah.
When it says like based on a true story, you're like, that's real.
So yes and no. So The Conjuring, I don't know why. I like watching that, but at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, I guess because they're in different time periods, I'm like, I don't get as affected by it.
Mm.
But if it was like to say right now, then I'd be like, oh my God, the spirit's about to jump through the screen and be in my
Yeah.
room.
So then how'd you feel about Paranormal Activity then? Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I didn't think that was real.
Okay.
Like that to me was like a joke. I
Yeah.
think when like the first one came out, I thought it was. And then
The first one I thought was like a little like, oh, that's kind of creepy. But like I still was
yeah,
able to watch it.
yeah.
Then when the second one came out, I was like, all right, this is just stupid now.
I was like, this is fake.
Yeah, like what are we doing? Like now you're just like the first one was like, oh, that could be kind of trippy, real.
Yeah.
Then it was like the third one, there's a cult of ghosts or something. I'm like, what is going on here? But yeah, those are scary ones. Always the ghost ones I think are the most freaky to me. I could watch any
Yeah.
slasher movie perfectly fine. Aliens, not technically like a horror movie anymore. It's more like a thriller, I guess. At this point, sci-fi. That's not scary to me either. But like, there's like a real kind of scary kind of ghost like movie. That's like, ooh. Let me pray really quick. I need to like get that energy out of here. But yeah, even like the Haunting of Hill House. I know my sister was
That
like a
is
huge fan of that.
good.
I couldn't get into it though. It
That
like
is
I don't know. I
good.
just felt kind of bored by it. Maybe I should probably commit to it and just watch like a couple episodes again. But
But
yeah.
I feel like that one, it's not like scary. I feel like it was more like suspenseful for me.
Mhm.
But that's a good show. Recommend. Your sister knows what she's watching.
My sister is a terrible human. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to you, Alex. We appreciate you. Lana, you're the other film human being that likes to breathe air in this room. I don't know why that's a description.
I like to breathe TV static.
You do like to do a lot of things with TVs, and you're disgusting. But Lana, when it comes to the horror genre, is there a certain kind of horror subgenre that you're into, or is horror just like, nah, I'm good kind of deal?
See, I want to get more into horror, but like Goosebumps terrifies me.
I'm sorry, what?
Goosebumps?
Yeah,
Like the show or the movie?
the
Both
show.
are both the same.
I don't know.
No, the
I
movie's
feel like the
comedy.
show was like tried hard to be a little more creepier, but like the movie felt more like a comedy movie, right?
I haven't seen the movie,
Yeah.
but the show.
Well, I
like,
guess they wanted to make it funny.
Yeah, because it's a kid show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the show freaked me out. So we're slowly getting better when it comes to horror movies. Cause like I want to be able to watch like horror movies. Like I saw half of The Shining. It was good. The first half.
When the family's all doing well and they're happy, that's the part.
Yeah, it's like this is a great film.
I feel like Goosebumps is what made me like horror. Because like Goosebumps to me, I always thought was just hilarious.
It's hilarious.
And then
No, I have a fear of dolls, and Goosebumps just made it worse.
There
those
was a
are
lot of
usually
creepy
though the
doll
best
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah,
Oh.
their theme song was a banger though.
Do you know what another scary show that I like growing up as a kid?
Shrek.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
That was scary to you?
Dude, come on.
That was scary. A few of those episodes
What?
hurt me. You remember that one where that like big like brain in the building was like, I am perfection?
Yes. No. He said to Courage, "You're not perfect."
That was it.
It wasn't even a brain. It was like a blue like sculpture thing.
Yeah, it was just a little tethered up ball of flesh, and it
Wow.
made me very uncomfortable.
Or what about King Ramses?
I don't like that.
Yeah, like
You guys
come
were
on.
scared of Courage?
You don't remember, bro. You didn't watch Courage like we watched.
Isaiah, I'm coming in. Wait.
Okay. He's leaving the Shadow Realm, making his
He's
return
about
to
to
the main
appear.
room. Aidan
We
is
attached a
alive
tether
and
to
well.
him. We attached a tether, and we're
The
guiding him back
anticipation
in.
is building.
I was
don't know
gonna say
what
the
his plan
journey
is.
as if
Did he
he's
get
like
lost?
as if
Aiden
he's
is
10
is
minutes
just
away.
gone. He's
Oh,
disappeared.
there he is.
Aiden Watch is coming. He's here. He's coming to show me a picture. Okay, that's definitely creepy. That's fair.
They show
That's
that
fair.
to young viewers.
Show the camera. Show
Oh
the
my
camera.
gosh.
They show that to young viewers on Cartoon Network.
Absolutely disgusting.
Okay, that was
I don't know what.
Thank you,
that
Aiden.
is.
All right, back to the Shadow Realm. Bye. That was disgusting. That's
It
fair.
was. Ew.
I do not remember that villain story.
I'm telling you, bro. Courage was different.
I mean, it definitely was like a creepy vibe. I don't say I would like scared of it though. Yeah.
But as it was, you had to have like heard it with the soundtrack as like a little 4-year-old sitting in front of the TV watching the cartoon.
And then you hear, "Stupid dog, you made me look bad."
That was pretty good.
I missed that show.
That was a great
Eustace.
show. I
Eustace.
love that one.
I've never never seen that show.
Of course, Lana. Honestly, I'm surprised by that. I feel like that is a Lana show.
I wasn't really that big into Cartoon Network growing up.
Oh,
So, like,
and
you
you're
don't like
muted. That's such a
Gumball?
shame.
Did you ever watch? Well, you didn't
Regular
watch
show?
anything. Yeah.
Regular show was a banger
I didn't watch
too.
regular show until I got older.
Oh, I watched that so much as a kid. Oh, perfect.
Yo, Benson.
Anyways, guys, we got some more stories to take care of. We're gonna talk about cartoons we used to watch so much, but we talked about Coke, we talked about movies, but now we have a violent bunny to talk about. As a 27-year-old man is accused of stealing from a business and assaulting an employee, which seems terrible, right? Absolutely awful. No one should assault anyone. But the interesting part of this story is that he assaulted the employee with a solid chocolate bunny. Officers were called in the afternoon after a man stole merchandise from a business on Victoria Avenue near 34th Street in Manitoba City. An employee confronted the shoplifter, and he was, immediately hit with a Mr. Solid brand chocolate bunny. The employee suffered minor injuries. The accused shoplifter ran away, but was found and arrested nearby while still in possession of stolen merchandise. It was returned to the store later after that. The man was released from custody and will appear in court on charges of assault and theft under $5,000. And in a statement from the police, they had to specify, quote, "This is not an April Fool's Day joke." Sergeant Kirby Saras, a public information officer with Brandon Police Services, said he never had heard of a chocolate bunny being used as a weapon. The weapon that the 27-year-old male suspect used was less than typical from what an employee would normally see or be assaulted with. But it doesn't change the fact that the employee was still injured as a result of trying to do their job.
I'm so sorry I laughed.
That is, well, I mean, it's kind of funny.
It's a chocolate bunny.
I don't promote theft, and I definitely don't promote assault. But the fact that you got smacked around by a chocolate bunny seems very much out of a 90s comedy movie where everything goes wrong. This is
Three
just
Stooges
absurd.
skit.
Exactly. It did not seem real. Who has that idea?
But that hurts because
Yeah.
those chocolate, they be hurting my teeth just trying to bite those
What
little
if you like
those
froze
bunnies.
it? What if you like put it in the freezer before
That's
you
what-
went
Oh,
there?
that's like a
But was it in the package or was it out of the
I imagine it was out of the package, and he's like, it's slowly melting in his hand.
Like he's holding it by the ears and just going.
Yep, going to town. And
Yeah.
you know what? It never broke the entire time he was hitting them.
Exactly.
It probably wasn't a hollow one.
Exactly. It's probably like a
This real solid
full one.
Caramel.
I was
Sorry,
thinking
caramel
like it
bunny.
was the giant ones.
Was it the caramel bunny? Was it peanut butter bunny?
I don't have specifics on the type of bunny.
These are the real questions here.
It is Mr. Solid brand chocolate.
Let me
But yeah,
see.
I don't know if it was caramel flavored.
Oh yeah, those are the big ones.
Oh, okay. It's
Well,
been confirmed.
Mhm.
Mr. Solid, Mr. Solid brand chocolate bunny. That's a lot of words. Is the giant ones.
I'm a Cadbury cream egg kind of guy.
What?
You ever had a Cadbury cream? It's like the chocolate eggs with like the little like cream inside of it.
It's the
don't like
purple one.
those.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
is it purple?
I think
don't
they're
know.
like purple and yellow. on the
Okay.
No,
pack-
they're like chocolate.
yeah, but like
Yeah, but like the
packaging.
packaging is purple, right?
Oh yeah.
Am I
yeah.
going in? Is this a real thing?
This is real.
Are you
What?
sure?
A Cadbury cream
Yeah.
egg or
The thing means the story.
It's reported
What are
from
you so
CBC,
confused
a very
about?
trusted news source.
Oh, yeah.
This is real.
Huh.
But yeah, that is if
So,
you ever work at a
chocolate
7-Eleven,
bunnies?
Do they have to like put the bunny in the freezer now that they confiscated it as a weapon to make sure it doesn't
that's
melt?
hilarious.
Evidence lockup.
Yep. In order to really have the prints on there. Do you wonder if he ate it afterwards to hide the weapon?
That would be funny.
You probably
Be happy.
left it. You probably left it at the crime scene and then it melted.
For real, it'll be like, it couldn't have been me. I ate it. Or it's
It's
like,
not there.
I've never even heard of chocolate before. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, very interesting. Stay safe out there in this time of the year because you never know when you get assaulted by a chocolate bunny. We're gonna move on to our next story, which could possibly be a villain story in the making, perhaps obtaining superpowers. As a 60-year-old man in Germany got himself vaccinated against COVID-19. Hey, shout out to you. It takes all of us. The job's not done. COVID's still around. But this man Didn't get it once, not twice, not 3 times. You'd imagine not even 20 times, 70 times. No. Instead, the 60-year-old man got vaccinated 90 times to allegedly forge and sell vaccine cards to those who didn't want to get the shots themselves. The man whose name was not released due to privacy rules allegedly received the coronavirus vaccines for months until criminal investigators caught up to him this month. The suspect was not detained, but is under investigation for fraudulently obtaining and distributing the vaccine cards, as well as obviously document forgery. He did not get caught until investigators found that he showed up to a vaccination center for the second day in a row. It is unclear what the health impacts of 90 COVID-19 vaccines are, which are from different brands, would have on the man's life. My imagination is that he grows 2 more arms, can have the ability to fly, and is either going to be a great superhero or an absolute scum of a supervillain. Guys, why? Just why?
I think I know what I'm going to do today.
Are you gonna get vaccinated 90 times?
I'll go with you.
We're gonna get vaccinated 90 times. We're gonna find our new mutation in our genetics, and then we're gonna become
Superhuman.
Superhumans, yeah.
Now, what if it removed a leg from you? Like the next day you woke up, your leg was just gone. Would you regret it? Or would you say, you know what, that was worth it? Hard-hitting questions here.
That's tough, you know. I mean, I probably wouldn't at that point.
You probably wouldn't. Aidan, I feel like you would risk it for the bit. Would you ever get 90 vaccines?
So are we this is a record set now, right? Like that's what I'm
91.
Like this is a challenge.
Wow. You know, that should have been in Battle of the Buzz, everyone. Who can get vaccinated the most?
Caitlin, please talk him out of this.
Caitlin, you should support your boyfriend in whatever he chooses to do with his life.
Yeah, Caitlin, I love you.
And he's getting vaccinated 91 times now, which will probably be 94 because I'm assuming you got your first 2 and are boosted in order to be on campus. But hey, if you're not, I'm not gonna out you here on live radio or anything. You know, to be 60 years old doing that is definitely interesting as well. You're a little too old for that, man. There's a little too old for that. Not that I imagine a 20-year-old should be doing that either. It's just like I figured at some point you probably grown a little bit into that. But yeah, maybe chill out on the vaccination rates. Any last thoughts before we go on to some coffee talk?
I mean, if he gets COVID now,
that would be hilarious. He gets COVID, but like a very bad version. Oh, I'm kidding. Hopefully you survive, but stop getting vaccinated and stop doing illegal things, man. When in doubt, tell him to stop. So we're gonna go into a coffee story, as researchers found drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day was associated with a lower risk of heart disease and dangerous heart rhythms. Additionally, drinking coffee was found to increase longevity, and the benefits of coffee had no impact or benefit those without cardiovascular disease. Data was pooled from the UK Biobank, a large-scale database of health information for more than 500,000 people over the last 10 years. Scientists were setting out to look for people's coffee consumption. The team then compared how much coffee people drank, ranging from a cup to more than 6 cups a day, and the relationships with heart rhythm problems, cardiovascular disease, and total and heart-related deaths. But scientists did consider exercise, alcohol, smoking, diabetes, and high blood pressure. For this study, researchers examined data from a big time number here, 382,535 participants without known heart disease. English. The average age of participants was 57, and the study featured an even number of men and women. The research found 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day was associated with the greatest benefits. Approximately 10 to 15% lower risk of developing coronary heart disease, heart failure, a heart rhythm problem, or dying from any reason. Those who drank 1 cup of coffee had the lowest risk of stroke or heart-related deaths. Guys, I'm ahead of the game. I'm gonna survive forever.
We can be caffeine addicts without issues.
Yeah, we support addiction. No, I'm kidding. Guys, this is very interesting because I was always told, like, especially growing up, that drinking too much coffee could be bad for you. But times are turning.
Well, it's bad. It's bad in
Science-
different aspects.
Huh? Yeah.
Like your teeth.
Your
like,
teeth. Your teeth gonna
your
get
teeth,
wrecked.
Yeah.
Isaiah, do you want to hear something funny that I forgot to tell you?
Oh no.
So I was on a bunch of film sets this weekend with our funny other film major in the studio. And
Whoa, you got career path interacted?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
describe that? What are you guys making a movie?
we were on what two? No, we were on our friend Amber's set, and then I was on like 4 other sets beside that.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Wednesday Buzz crossover special.
Wow.
The crossover episode. But something to make you proud. You want to? I beat my record, Isaiah.
Oh god, you had 4 monsters, didn't you?
I had 9.
Monsters
Yeah.
in one day?
I'd say a good like 36-hour cycle.
Oh my god, Aidan, no.
It was bad.
We kept telling him to go to
listen.
bed and he wouldn't.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get close to the microphone. Caitlin, I need you to call this man at 9:15 or so and have a genuine conversation saying, Aidan, I'm worried about you. You are addicted to Monster, and I think you need to stop. Because this is a problem, Aidan. No single human should be consuming 9 whole cans of Monster, even in a week.
No, I know, never again. But I was like, it got to a
How are
point.
you alive?
No, it was a day where I had a set the day before from like I had a set the day before from like 7 to 12 at night, and then I had a work shift from 12 to 4, and then after that work shift I had a set from 6 to 12 noon, and then after that I had another set from 1 to 5, and then after that I had my last set from 7 to 12 a.m. again. So I just didn't sleep. So every time my eyes started to droop, I'd drink another one, and it just got out of hand.
But Aiden, why 4 sets?
Why?
Though?
We could have just taken like a nap.
Or coffee.
I didn't have the time for like coffee or a nap.
Buy a Keurig.
No, but I was like never in my room that day.
Oh my lord. You're the worst.
No, it's okay. It was funny.
No.
Yeah, no, it's
As
that's
someone who was there, I don't know if it was funny.
That's concerning, Aidan. We hope you your heart is okay. But yeah. Very briefly before we move on though. Were the movies you guys making good? You can be honest.
yes.
Yeah, they were very good.
Describe
the
what
Cans
they're
of
about.
Well, my friend Amber, which was the set we were on, she's making a film about 2 people who are having a really awful day that meet up and make each other's days better.
Oh, that's
And that I'm probably butchering the story of that, but it was really good. The script was really well written.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
like
Yeah.
a Lifetime movie right there.
Hallmark.
Hallmark.
Yeah, it was a
My
good
bad.
feel-good
Oh
movie.
wait, I'm sorry, Amina. Did not mean to say Lifetime. Hallmark.
Lifetime
Let me
is
put
for, like,
respect on the genre.
You know, yeah, the drama one.
Got it. The other one?
These were like I was on a few other ones. My friend was writing a film about 2 drug dealers in a van, and the entire movie took place in that van. And that one was really good. It was really like different. One of my friends did one about 2 people who hated each other going to couples therapy. That one was really good.
Hmm.
And then there was one about what was it? It was a guy who had a suspicion that his girlfriend was cheating on him, and then he found out that his girlfriend was hooking up with his sister.
What?
Wow.
Wow. I gotta be honest, that last one sounds the most intriguing because that seems like a lot of drama.
Yeah, no, they were all really well done. And I just kind of stood there holding the funny stick or lifting things.
Okay, you're the stick guy.
Yeah, I was the stick guy.
You're the stickler.
We love Boom Up.
Oh, Anthony, that was good. I wish I thought of it.
But also with the set that Aiden and I were on together, the first day we actually got to shoot on a shuttle bus.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we got to ride around the Lot
Wow.
60 multiple times.
That's
on
pretty
the shuttle
cool.
bus.
Was the driver just like cool with that?
The bus
Yeah,
driver was so nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
apparently like you can get a shuttle bus for a film.
Huh. Can I just like
rent out a shuttle?
yeah, just like can I just borrow it?
Yeah, apparently
that I don't know, but
they didn't ask many questions.
no.
I don't, they probably just like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
The
I'm
bus
still
driver
getting
seemed to be
paid.
enjoying
Typical
herself,
MSU
honestly.
Oh, the bus
Yeah.
driver is having a blast. She loved being in the movie.
That's oh, she's in the role? She got the role of bus driver?
Yeah, because
driver number one.
Hey, what's her name?
I don't. I know
You
Amber knew it. I don't
rude
think I ever
human
introduced
being.
myself.
You didn't even say who. I'm assuming it was Mrs.
Yeah, it was.
Johnson.
I don't know. That's
We'll
a
have
good
to ask
question.
Amber.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Amber.
I don't know about this Amber lady. Anyways, guys, good for you guys. Was that for a class or just because you guys like making films?
It was for Amber's film 2 final.
Cool. Hey, that's exciting. Good for you guys, you know, developing into your little film careers. You guys are going to do great. I know Lana actually helped make the Battle of the Buzz promo video. So that was cool. Look at you guys making your way in the film world. Very quickly, do you guys want to be in LA making films? Is that the ultimate goal?
Personally, I'd rather stay in like the New York area.
Oh, okay. Aidan,
Sorry, can you repeat that?
do you want to make movies in like Los Angeles, Hollywood kind of deal, or is this just like you'd rather stay in this area?
Yeah, I'd like to make it. I'd like to make it to Hollywood one of these days. I hate Hollywood and everything it stands for. But the reason I became a film major was two reasons. I want to leave a legacy and I want to make it rich quick.
There you go. Get rich quick, guys. And that does it here for the Morning Buzz here on WMSC 90.3 Upper Montclair. It's the Wednesday crew. It's been Isaiah, Aidan, Anthony, Amina, Alana, the whole crew. We'll see you next week. And tomorrow you got JT, Laura. And Friday you have Gabby and Terry and the rest of them. Enjoy your Wednesday. It's raining. But remember, enjoy life to the fullest. See you next week.
You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, where music stays cool. Cooler than Link on a Quest.
Hey, listen!